Hello everyone, this is Janat Kamal and you're watching Hindustan. Holi, one of the prominent festivals of the Hindu community, is being celebrated globally today. This festival, which celebrates the arrival of spring, is a day filled with colors, family, friends, and food. To know more about the Holi and the festivities surrounding it, we have with us Varsha, Arora and Ajay Chutervedi. Varsha is an associate producer and Ajay is a writer, an author and an entrepreneur. Thank you so much Varsha and thank you so much Ajay for joining us. Thank you so much, Ajay, for joining us. Thank you so much, Varsha, for joining us. Ajay, I'll start with you. First of all, happy Holi to you, both of you, and to all of the Hindu community. Ajay, what are the beliefs attached with Holi?
Thank you so much, Janat. I think you probably even read my Facebook status. There's three levels to a festival, any Hindu festival when you talk about it. Largely this is something that's observed across South Asia or Southeast Asia, I mean, China included as well. Uh, one is the philosophical slash astronomical, astrological understanding of why a certain event happens. So, the fundamentals of this is the understanding that the solar system is the way it is, the Earth is going around it, and how the movement of the sun and the moon and the other, planets sort of affect our seasons and our behaviors and habitat and culture in general. So that one understanding is that now, this being the solar equinox, this is going to be the last day when the day and nights are equal, and after this the days start getting longer, uh, further longer. So from an astrological and an astronomical perspective, this is something in which it's lunar, the full moon, uh, and the way people observe it. This is also the beginning of summer, right? Now, from a historical, which most of the people who have not read the scriptures, they take it as mythological. The understanding is of winning of um, dharma over dharma, or winning of good over evil, right? But good and evil is a very very bipolar perspective. So I'd keep it multipolar, which is in the Hindu culture, in the Hindu philosophy, which is called Darshan Shastra, is much larger. So from that, now the story around it is really of Holika. Holika, who was got to kill Prahlad, and so she sits in the fire, which eventually burns her, and Prahlad escapes. So now that's the story behind it, which is around Hiranyakashipu, and then it goes really behind how we sort of stand these scriptures. So
Okay,
that's
Ajay, I'll ask the
broad.
same question from Varsha also. Varsha,
Sure.
what are the beliefs attached with Holi according to you?
We celebrate this festival with colors. We welcome spring. And secondly, we celebrate the victory of good over evil. As there was a king who wanted to be worshipped, he wanted his son also to worship him, but his son said that I would worship only God. So he refused, but the king asked his sister to take his son in his lap and sit in fire because his sister had the vardhan that she would not burn in fire. So the king thought that when my sister will take him in lap and sit in fire, my sister will remain safe and my son would die. But this did not happen. God saved his son and he came out of the fire safe and sound. So we celebrate this day to remember that victory of good over evil.
So Ajay, knowing the history, is there any particular costumes that you guys follow for this festival?
Yeah, so typically, like Varsha also explained, the whole good over evil aspect of it is the same thing. Now, once it's celebrated with colors, the cultural aspect of it gets colorful, right? Which is what the spring festival, Basant Utsav, is called. Also, this comes right after Basant Panchami, right? Which is really when you start to understand the luni solar calendar, solar calendar. This is the Valentine's Day equivalent, that is celebrated part of the world. Now, having said that, the costume is nothing with it, but typically people wear white. Starting of the second half of the festival, which is the playing part of the festival, which is colorful Holi. So typically people wear white, kurtas, pajamas, whatever they feel like. But there's no restriction to it. People can wear the way the youth and the kids would probably wear. jeans and t-shirts and whatnot. So there's no restriction to it, but typically we wear white. We go out, we play with water colors, things that we are uh, vibrant sort of colors, make it really welcoming spring. So that's really how we celebrate it. The sweets we eat are something called gujia, which is stuffed uh, sweets, and probably Varsha can explain much better. But yeah, really how we celebrate it.
Perfect. We'll take a short break here and continue our discussion from here. So, Varsha, is celebrating Holi in Pakistan any different for you?
No, there is nothing different because we are living in Pakistan since 1947. So we are used to this kind of environment. We celebrate it at home by offering special prayers, by preparing special meals. Then we visit our temple and celebrate it there as well. All the community gathers in the temple and they celebrate this color. But I would like to share that though it is perceived that white should be worn on this day. It is not very popular here in Islamabad or Pakistan. The people come in regular dresses.
In any color?
In any color, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, Ajay, where do you mostly celebrate Holi?
So, Janat, needless to say, I prefer to celebrate it with my friends and family because, that's where and that's with whom you typically will be at home, especially during, Holi and Diwali because these are the two major festivals. But if I were to be, picking any places other than this, especially for Holi, because of the festival of colors and complete resplendence and, a lot of things being done around, I'd probably pick, Jaipur or a Mathura or Vrindavan because then the fervor goes in a very, very different level. And there's a lot of different aspects that you actually get to understand and learn of why things are done the way they are done, especially, from today's sustainability perspective and, how people are sort of dealing with climate change and things. You suddenly start to embrace a lot of the practices that are the cultural practices, the philosophical understanding that is being followed. So, having said that, I prefer to celebrate it in India, especially with my family in Dehradun, Delhi, wherever I'm with the family. If not, I'd probably go to these places. And especially for Holi, if I were to pick any of these places, these are the places that I'd pick.
Varsha, I'll ask the same question from you. Where do you usually celebrate Holi?
We usually celebrate it at home or in our temples, but the places where Hindu community is in majority, for example in Sindh, they also celebrate it in playgrounds because when you have to play with colors you need a larger space. So but we don't celebrate it here in playgrounds, we celebrate it at homes or in temple.
Okay, so Varsha, like you said that you have been living in Pakistan since 1947, you are here. So do you face any problems in celebrating your festival?
No, I haven't faced any problem. I don't say that there exist no problems. There problems do exist, but I haven't faced any problems because I think that no matter what the religion is, the social integration also matters. We are living here since 1947. My families knows people, they know us. So if any problem even arises, they come to help us. They come to rescue us.
That I agree, because I'll even ask Ajay that if you people face any problem during the festival, because when there's a festival a problem can occur. So Ajay, do you face any problem during this festival?
No, I mean, beyond the classic media ranting and, a few people who are really the disruptors, they always have to come up and, spoil the fun, which is, again, unilaterally done, especially, towards just one community. That is some nuisance factor, that we've sort of begun to rule out. That started happening. I mean, there was a time that I used to, be very open and start listening to them and, maybe what they're saying is speaking sense. But now, especially, what I've posted on Facebook as well with what you see, after you start understanding the philosophical, the scientific relevance of, what you're doing is actually right, then you begin to, dissuade these people and, begin to sort of not listen to these people, the voices that, you're talking about, the ones who try to disrupt and the ones who try to create problems with it. So yeah, we do face it. It's been, very minimal this time, but, from what it used to be before, we've started to ignore it.
We'll continue our discussion with Ajay and Varsha on the festival of Holi after a short break. So Ajay, Rang festival and fights have recently become increasingly popular with the youth of the country. Do you think this is a step towards more acceptance and social integration?
Sorry, what has become more popular now? Fights?
No, the color fights, which you say, the water fights and all those.
Oh yeah. The color, the rangoli. Rangoli
Yes,
is,
yes.
that's something that's been happening for a long time. I mean, this is not something new. But what are you saying now? Is this becoming more popular with the youth?
Yes, it's becoming more acceptance and social integration. Is it going towards more acceptance and social integration?
Yeah, it's something, so if I were to talk about the classic nuisance being peddled by, a lot of the fake sort of intellectuals is really around, oh my God, this is not scientific, this is complete madness, you're wasting water, you're wasting resources, whatnot, right? And that does not make sense because everything, I mean, it's a little too detailed for me to go into all these, specifics of, why colors, what is gulal made of, how is it helping nature? How is it helping the people sort of get attuned to the changing season? See, most of these festivals that we have, when you go to the scientific roots of it, you realize that they end up preparing you for the next season that's coming in. The incoming season is what you need to be prepared for. It's the same thing with Makar Sankranti, which is a solar festival. When you go to the details of it, you start to understand. So the attacks that were being done before are not happening now, and because of the voices that are raising, especially my kind of voices that are also rising, we're talking about these specific things. Why you need to do certain or follow certain cultural practices, because it's very relevant for you in the places that you are at. I mean, if I were to go to Siberia and in complete snow, and I say I'm not used to wearing jackets and any warm clothing, I mean, it'd be stupid. Which is the same thing over here. So as the youth are understanding and beginning to embrace the kind of scientific reasoning and the temper that they've been taught to understand, the reasons and the specifics around the festivals that we have, people are opening up to it. It's the same thing that goes with playing with colors or playing Holi the way it's been traditionally done. So yeah, the youth is definitely opening up to it, which we saw even in the Kumbh Mela, which began on Makar Sankranti, especially this year. It was a major event. The youth population, into the Kumbh Mela had apparently increased more than 50% from the years before, and that to me is a really good sign, because that means the youth are getting tuned into nature and embracing our culture and traditions, which eventually leads to sustainable economy and sustainable environment.
Varsha, I'll ask the same question for you. Like being in Pakistan community, where do you think the youth is leading this festival to?
As Ajay said, that it is not new. I think it is good if we are celebrating it together, or even individually if we are celebrating the same thing or with the same concept. Look, religion is one thing, but we can celebrate it to welcome spring or to enjoy some time together. Pakistan has seen very difficult times as well. So I think it is a good opportunity where the people can come together regardless of any religious or any other differences, and they can celebrate something new, something good. They can spend their time in something constructive, and they can get entertainment as well.
So Ajay, is there any message that you would like to give on this special occasion of Holi?
For all my brothers and sisters, spread love, spread cheer, spread color, and spread peace. Love to all, I guess. Wish you a wonderful and colorful and cool Holi.
Thank you so much, Ajay. Varsha, what message will you give to your community on the special festival of Holi?
First of all, I want to wish them a very happy Holi. I feel very delighted to share that on this Holi as well, like the previous years, I have been asked by my colleagues and my friends that they want to celebrate Holi with me. So I just wish that with every coming Holi, we celebrate it together, and we put something positive in we do something positive for our country.
Thank you so much, Varsha. Thank you so much, Ajay, for joining us. This was today's Hindustan. Keep watching Hindustan on dbtv.live. Till the next week, goodbye.